football. This is where you come for Lizzo references, right, Schrager? That's it. Saturday Night
Juice.
Live. Yeah, triple header on Saturday. When do you go down up to Foxborough?
I will be at Foxborough tomorrow at Patriots
What does
practice.
that mean? What are you going to be doing? Oh.
Yeah, we'll be at Patriots practice, and we'll be meeting with Brady and Belichick, and we'll see what's going to be in the game plan for Saturday.
And you,
Will you?
sir? And you, sir?
I am leaving tomorrow, and I am headed to Tampa so I can go meet with the teams.
You guys are going to give us all that goodness on Saturday?
I'm headed to...
Nate, you have no idea where you are right now.
Here's how it works. A producer says, Nate, here's your plane ticket. Just board the plane.
Do you know where we'll sell this?
Just like they do with the 7-8 comments.
He's not in
Culver
Tampa.
City?
Oh, he is. Yes.
Yes, I am in Culver City. And you saw what Lizzo did when she came out here, by the way, at the Lakers game. Woo-hoo.
Yes, we did.
That was something else, to say the least.
Okay,
Is that what it was?
It is the status symbol that lets people know you are gainfully employed. The key card. Without it, you can't swipe your way into a place of business. And for any head coach, their business is to win as many games as possible to maintain their key card status. Now, Patricia saying as long as his key card works, he'll continue to work until those in charge throw him out. It won't be deactivated, though, Coach, as the Lions announced they'll keep Patricia and GM Bob Quinn around for another year, but the reassurance comes with a caveat. Owner Martha Firestone Ford saying they expect to be a playoff contender, and that means playing meaningful December games. So he is on notice. Patricia and Quinn are coming back at about the time quarterback Matthew Stafford is expected to be fully healthy. The team also announcing they placed Stafford on injured reserve. It puts an end to a season that saw him play just 8 games after suffering back and hip injuries. He ends 2019 with 2,499 yards passing with 19 TDs and 5 picks. Also not coming back this season is fellow Georgia Bulldog and current Bengals wide receiver A.J. Green. Green hasn't seen the field at all this season with an ankle injury. In fact, a renowned foot specialist telling him it will not hinder him in the future, which is good news. Green saying hearing that made him feel a lot better. And Tom Brady has been in the league so long that when he started, jersey swaps weren't even a thing. Patriots QB says he possesses an Aaron Rodgers jersey because he's a guy he's looked up to as a player and as a person. But the one he'd also like to have is one from one Peyton Manning. He's just cutting tomatoes right now, so we think that can certainly be arranged. This all comes as Bengals running back Joe Mixon said he was too scared to ask Brady for a jersey, and Brady eventually made it happen, so he did get his jersey. We're happy to report.
Boom across the goal line. Mike Thomas. You can't stop that man right there. Catch is made. DeAndre Hopkins. Watson to Hopkins. It's lethal. It'll make the catch. Runs over a man. That is unbelievable. Mahomes throws for Kelsey in the end zone. Fingertip grab. Drags the toes.
Travis Kelsey, you know he always has a dance, right?
Russell Wilson, the most clutch quarterback in our league, makes a play all on his own. Oh, he broke his ankles, and he's got a touchdown. Welcome to the Pro Bowl.
It happened last night. The 2020 Pro Bowl selections were announced. The Ravens leading the way with 12 players selected, including Lamar Jackson, who received the most Pro Bowl votes in the league. He joins Russell Wilson as the starting quarterbacks for their respective teams. Only 2 teams were left with no selections, the Dolphins and the Giants. The Ravens, man, they continue to take the league by storm. Are you getting the sense that this is their year, guys?
It's crazy because if you look at the selections, it's Lamar and they're obvious players, but it's like Pat Ricard, their fullback, made his first Pro Bowl, and there's a special teams. And so the Pro Bowl's fun and it's kind of a parade, but if you really look at it, the Ravens top to bottom, they're such a complete team. This is another reflection of that. Project Pat, congratulations.
You know what I was taken aback by when I saw this? Not taken aback, but so impressed by, if you look at it from a 30,000-foot view, like, the Steelers got rid of stars this year, right? Like Antonio Brown was casted off, and Le'Veon Bell is gone, and Ben Roethlisberger goes down. They're still sending 5 players to the Pro Bowl, so I think that's impressive. And J.J. Watt is the big name. T.J. Watt, like being an outside linebacker in the Pro Bowl here in his second big season as a Pro Bowler. I think the Steelers, to me, is almost as big a story as the Ravens, that here we got rid of all the stars, and we are also involved.
But to that point, the Ravens got rid of a lot of stars, too. And all these individuals, they started to collectively put on the table what they were missing. And you know what I love about this? even though there might be some bubble guys that you look at the Ravens and say, I don't know if that guy can make it or should have made it. When a team is this good, I feel like there should be bubble guys that just get the nod just because. And I'm glad that so many individuals on this team made their first Pro Bowl, and hopefully they make more.
A snub, first time since 2008, Tom Brady. Not selected. First
Really?
time since 2008. I'm not saying he should have been in
No,
there.
that's a long.
I'm not saying he's a snub. He's not playing better than these AFC quarterbacks right now, but that's pretty wild. The Bills only sending one guy, Tre'Davious White. Found a quirky thing.
What do you got?
A weird thing. Ready? Teams with the most Pro Bowlers the last 4 years. I went back and looked, right? 2018 Chargers, 2017 Steelers, 2016 Raiders, 2015 Panthers. Only the Panthers made it past the divisional round.
Interesting.
What does that mean? Teams that send more Pro Bowl players don't get very
I will say
far.
this Ravens team is much better than those 4 teams. You know, you couldn't stack those teams up against what the Ravens had done this year, even the Panthers, as good as they were. So I don't think there's a correlation. I do feel like the Ravens, more than any other team before with this many Pro Bowlers, have one of the best shots to make it to the
Truth
Super
of it
Bowl.
is, if we're seeing a bunch of Ravens on Sunday at the Pro Bowl, it means it was a great disappointment for their season.
But if they make it to the Super Bowl, it's going to be chaos.
I know.
Because there's 12 spots open up. It's great. And I also think that, like, to answer to your point, this is a popular vote, right? It's a junior high election. It's who does the best skit. It's not necessarily the best players. Ezekiel Elliott, I love him. Like, is not a Pro Bowler this year, but he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so they don't often vote the best players; they vote their favorite ones.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers, should he be in over Kirk Cousins?
No,
He
absolutely
is.
not. No, absolutely not. I guess, people don't vote for the third-rated passer in all the NFL who all the next-gen stats are in love with because it's Kirk Cousins and he's a cartoon or something and he's Ned Flanders. Of course he should be a Pro
Kirk
Bowler.
should be in over Aaron?
No.
Yeah, I think Kirk had a better statistical, and what they're doing is great. I also think over there in Minnesota, Eric Kendricks, the linebacker, should be in. And, like, they had a bunch of defensive starters, but some teams don't get the same love as the guys that you see on Mount Rushmore. Like, the fans vote for who the fans
And that's
want
fine.
to
It's
see.
their thing. Vote whoever the hell you want.
Yeah.
And speaking of an NFC North team, how about Kenny Galladay? He's on his way to a second
3-win
1,000-yard
team.
season.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm saying, like,
he got 10 touchdowns. Like, you can't tell me he's not one of the best receivers in the game, and yet he's sitting at home. He's going to be watching the Pro Bowl just like we are.
I would urge the fans who are complaining about Dak not being in, about any of Allen Robinson from Chicago not being in, go to NFL.com and take a look at who's in, because you have to take somebody out. So before you start
Absolutely.
complaining about the snubs,
There's
take a
some
look.
superstars.
Yeah, at who is sitting in their places.
There's a lot of players who are going to play in this thing that are not in it. Mitch Trubisky was in the Pro Bowl last
I will
year.
say this,
Was.
though.
I watched
A lot
David
changes.
Garrard play in a
That's
Pro
what I'm
Bowl.
saying.
Saturday, right here on NFL Network, it's the Bills visiting the Patriots, a crucial AFC East battle. So let's start by getting a bit of an injury update to set the table for us on the Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. And Mike Giardi is telling us that it's easier said than done.
Okay, you know Bill Belichick hates talking about injuries. In fact, you're usually met with a sneer, and they'll direct you to the injury report that'll come out later in the day telling you you'll be the first one to get a copy. But when asked a question on Tuesday about the backup quarterbacks getting more work because of Tom Brady's right elbow injury, he did admit there have been times this year where Brady's been limited in practice. He never says that kind of stuff. But it goes to show you that what we saw on Sunday with Brady, as I was trained on him in the pregame, flexing that right elbow out between every throw he made in warmups, that this is an issue. And it's been an issue long before it first popped up on the injury report prior to that Dallas Cowboy game in late November. In fact, at least a month longer than that. And Brady has really struggled over the last 5 games. Hasn't completed more than 55.3% of his passes. That's crazy for Tom Brady. You know he'll show up and play, but you just don't know how effective he's going to be at this point between the elbow and obviously the issues that they've had at wide receiver. It has not been a usual year for the Patriots offense.
More issues than I can ever remember with this Tom Brady-led squad. Tom Brady sounds a little bit different, and like he has a bit of a different approach going into this year. Here's what he said to his guy, Jim Gray, on WEEI. We know our defense is going to play good, so for us to not turn the ball over, we have a almost 95% chance of winning the game. We can't just take a knee 3 times and then punt, but at the same time, I don't think it is really worth it to be careless with the ball, and I am doing the best I can to try and take care of it. So apparently this is how Brady sees it 15 weeks in. Can the Patriots win with this strategy, Nathan?
100%. I said before that this is the most scrutinized 11-3 team of all times. Listen, the Patriots, they're one of the best at self-correcting. I think we're starting to lose confidence because they started off the season so well. They were averaging like 32 points a game, which was at that point the best in the league. And then the last 6 games, they're bottom of the league, like literally 30th in the league offensively. But it's okay if your defense carries you. It's just fine if your defense is better than your offense at certain points in the season. I'll take it back to the Peyton Manning Super Bowl. You guys remember that year? Peyton Manning with the Broncos, his arm is literally falling off the bone. He's skipping balls into the ground.
Sure.
Brock Osweiler had to come in and spell him that season. They wouldn't have won a Super Bowl without what? Their defense. So it's okay that the defense is holding them down. I'm still not going to panic until we're sitting here in January and we show up on the show the next day and somebody just knocked the Patriots out.
Quickly, let me ask you this. Why is it going to be different next time the Patriots face quarterbacks that the defense hasn't held down, like Deshaun Watson, like Lamar Jackson, like Patrick Mahomes? Because the defense didn't carry them in those games. Those teams beat New England, even in New England.
Because they have film to work with, Kay. And the advantage is you have a coaching staff that has been in this league a lot longer than the young legs that ran past them in those games. So now you try to make a difficult game plan for a young Lamar Jackson or a young Pat Mahomes. And if you can do that, confuse them game by game, quarter by quarter, then you'll have a chance of beating those young guys on your way to Miami.